So, looks like we're live. אוקיי, אז אני אתחיל כמה בעברית. אנחנו עכשיו בוובינר מוצר השבוע, והפעם עם פיקסארט ועם ארם. מאחר והעברית של ארם לא משהו, אז אנחנו נעבור לאנגלית. So I'd like to welcome Aram from Picsart that has a really cool product that is highly relevant for a lot of people in this group and many people that are going to view this webinar. And without further ado, I'll let Aram take control and present the screen and tell us about Picsart. So take it from here, Aram.
Thanks for the intro. Let me get to the right screen and get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar. Thanks, Yal, for the invitation. I will talk about AI tools for no-code visuals, and I will show how you can make your life much easier when it comes to creative editing. I'm Aram. I'm the Vice President of Product and Technology at Picsart. I'm in IT sphere for more than now 20 years, 9 years in Picsart now. Last week, we have celebrated our 13-year birthday. And a couple of words about what Picsart is. We are the world's largest creative platform. Number-wise, we have more than 150 million monthly active users. We are available on web, mobile, tablet, and today we will talk about API offering, and we also have embeddable SDK. Picsart is long there, and our mission is to empower everyone and make creativity available and accessible for every people. It can be consumers doing their own Instagram photo editing, but as well as businesses that need to optimize their websites, that need to edit their product photos, make them high quality, and make that more efficient than ever before. And with our mission, we are transforming how photo and video editing done on the market. And before we go forward, I have a couple of questions. If you should watch everything, if you are automating your workflows for a CMS, this topic applies to you. It can be WordPress, Drupal, any other platform.
I can tell you many people in the group have these type of
Exactly.
many people. Yeah.
Yeah, we have been there and we are still here. CMS is what every single business does to publish their website. So this applies to every single company in the world. And for e-commerce as well, if you are doing e-commerce platform, if you run on Shopify, maybe on Wix, any other platform, this still applies to you. You will learn how to improve the product listing, how to standardize those, how to improve the quality and make that more efficiently. And the most trendy topic here in the world now, like AI, whether you should use it or not, it is applicable. Should you be scared of it? And we always mention that AI is your supporter, is your agent, and AI is there to help you rather than replace you. And with that in mind, we will show that visual content creation with AI is not a myth. It's there. It has been available for many years now. It has been, I think, 6 years ago when we launched the first magic effect, which was transferring style of maybe Picasso or Mondrian to your photos. And now it has advanced so much that, yeah, it is as simple of a tool as maybe just photo editor on your mobile phone or just Google document that you use on maybe day-to-day basis. And when it comes to Picsart offering, we have 1,000 different tools, but in APIs, we have published about 15 image tools for remove background, upscaling, resizing, cropping, many other operations you can make. And we have also 5 Gen AI tools in our APIs. It comes to text-to-image generation, image-to-image manipulations, drawing certain areas, expanding an image. I will show a couple of examples later during this webinar. And on Make, we have published more like usable scenarios, use case solutions. For instance, not simply talking about here like photo editing, but rather just resizing or just cropping or compressing the photo for web use or for performance. And surely, as always, with any other application, we have the universal action. So you are not limited to using only the 15 options we have provided on Make, but also you can configure it. And I will show an example of that, a recently published API, which is not yet made an action on Make, but you can still use it using the universal action. Good. So let's start. The first use case is about how you boost your SEO and how you optimize your media content. Example I will show here is for WordPress. We will pull in the image from media library. We will convert, resize, and compress the image, and then we will upload back to WordPress. Here, we have this scenario. This is also available as a template. I will show a link later. And as I mentioned, here we start with WordPress. We watch for media items being added, and you can always replace this to edit existing photos as well. It can be not watch, but maybe listing items on WordPress. And here we see two routes. And the reason I separated those is because above, I've added a filter for JPEG images only. By its nature, JPEG is a compact file format. It's used for optimization, for compression. Sure, it maybe adds some artifacts at some level, but for web, it's the best format. For an example, compared to PNG, which is much bigger in size, and yeah, it acts negatively on your web page load performance. So, and for the below path, the second route is for PNG and WebP. And these are transparent images. And the reason I use it separately because PNGs, I assume that they have transparent areas. If you convert those into a JPEG file, it is possible. It's not like possible, but it is surely to end up with black dots instead of the transparent ones. To avoid that, I'm using the WebP format. So transparent images stay transparent. Whatever doesn't have a transparent, and you start with JPEG, you compress that to JPEG. About the configuration, it can be as simple as watching. Again, as I mentioned, maybe you can limit the number of how many files you get in one batch. And then you connect that to the Picsart. We are getting the URL of the image. It is also possible in other scenarios, and I will show later as well, that you can use the data file instead of the URL. We are mapping to WordPress media file. We define that the output format is JPEG and the compression is 80. From Picsart's experience, we see that even if you lower it to 95% compression, it is already a good enough transformation. Our recommendation would be to use at least 85. This is what we apply on Picsart's website as well. We saw huge, tremendous traffic decrease. We boosted a lot how much we load on users' devices by just changing to 85. Going lower than 75, again, from our experience, we don't recommend that because you start noticing certain differences. Like certain elements and artifacts show up, and you may see that the quality is not as good or smooth as it should be. Depending on your website or how the image, how big the image is, you may adjust it. let's say if image preview sizes are small enough, let's say 150, 250 pixels, it is quite possible that even if those artifacts show up, no one will notice that. And then you can boost even further. I mean, you can squeeze down the traffic to a bare minimum. Maybe every image that has been megabytes before, 5, 10 megabytes, it will become either 30 kilobytes or maybe even 2, 3 kilobytes, depending on this compression. So be wary, make this decision coming from your requirements, the image sizes, etc. Also, you can apply different compression levels again for different sizes. Also, maybe for the image thumbnail, you may use 75 or lower, but for the full size image, you use 85 or above. This is our recommendation. Now, then we just upload back. As you can see, I'm mapping here the media item ID, the title, alternate text. I'm basically copying all the important information from the source to the result. And the only thing I'm changing is that I'm changing the file that is being uploaded back. So the modified version, the compressed version gets uploaded back to WordPress. And here I've added a QR code to our template. This exact scenario is published on Make as a template. You can scan it and you can start using right away. In case you notice something isn't working as properly as it should, just drop us a line. We will be there to support you. And bonus, as I mentioned, one case that is not yet published as an action, but it is now available as an API service on Picsart. This is the image describer. Similarly, we have image tagging service, which suggests hashtags. For instance, if you have an image in your WordPress media library, and then you want to post on Instagram or TikTok, any other platform, and you need hashtag suggestions, you can use this service to automatically generate those. This library is not super wide. This is purely Picsart hashtag library, which we are using on day-to-day basis to tag, label our images and improve the image discovery on our free-to-edit platform. But you can use it also to add an alternate text or other like titles or any other placement. Maybe you want to categorize images or products, you can still use this service of tagging. This exact example is about the description, which is a full-fledged image description, which can again be added as an alternate text. And surely if you add it to WordPress, it will boost your SEO rankings and you will drive organic traffic, not only from the regular web search, but also the image search.
Just a quick question. So there's no prompt here. It just describes the image.
Yes, exactly. It's as simple as that. You just provide the image and you get the text.
Great.
Nice. This is also possible to run right now. And this probably sums up about this very simple use case, how Picsart can be leveraged to boost your SEO. This is super important, and I've run through that. That's why I highlighted here. Like the traffic, the page load time, it's super important. Traffic is important for your website cost to run it efficiently. And the performance is important for your end user experience, for your conversions. If I'm not mistaken, every 3 seconds you lose on loading or just showing up something, you may lose up to 30% of your traffic. So to decrease your bounce rate, it's highly recommended to have high page load speed. And thus you need to optimize. The first thing you optimize are the images. So we use this extensively on Picsart from day one. We just made this technology available for the developers, for the businesses, as well as on the make, no code, low code users. Cool. I will pass to the second use case, which is a more custom application. This is about e-commerce, product listing. and we will show how you can easily, seamlessly, and effortlessly, with no code, you can basically standardize all your product photos on your shop. Usually, how this would be done, you would take product shots either in Photo Studio, or maybe your photos on the shop won't look that nice or sleek, or maybe you hire an agency to do that job for you, to do the Photoshop, as we say, right? But it is also possible to do it in a different way. And AI image editing technologies are revolutionizing this space. Basically, we are introducing something new, which is doing a one-click editing, and you don't need to be a professional. This is what we call it, like bringing creativity to everyone. You shouldn't be a designer to be able to standardize the images. Here you can do standardization and automation for your thumbnail creation process. Also, another application, you can create fresh content for social. I will show you how you can, let's say, change the background, not to a standard white background, but maybe put your cup on a beach, in a forest, in some other setup. Same can be done with any other product type or your fashion model. You can move that person showing certain dress to a completely different setup, into a city, maybe the same forest, cityscape, whatever, and you can share that on social, which can be new every time you post on Instagram, for instance. And you can also repurpose your website media for the same social. If you have already a lot of content published on your WordPress or other CMS portal, you can reuse that material and share for social. Like, creating new content is very hard, but if you can repurpose, this is just one bullet and two rabbits. And we cover all types of product shots, product only, flat lay, on model, off model, and as well as editorial campaign. You could ask what types of products. It can be, again, almost everything. Apparel, person, cars, furniture, animals, but also maybe you want to just remove background, for instance, from logos. Why not? It's also there. And how you do that? In terms of steps, it's simply 3 easy things to set up on Make. You set up to change background to white. You center the product, so you don't need to think about like making a perfect center photo, again, which is possible only in studio conditions and setup. You can automatically center the product. You can add a little bit of shadow, and you can then apply what we have already learned from the image optimization use case we talked already. You can optimize all those images and then only publish on your platform. I will quickly jump to the scenario, which is also published as a template. You can reuse exactly this thing and then replace certain elements if you want to. Here again, we are doing watching for new products, which can be replaced to listing all existing ones if you want to standardize what you already have published. Then what you have watched, you are listing the images of that specific product. You remove the background, download the file, and then you upload to Shopify. This download component is here only because Shopify upload doesn't work with the URL, which was the case for WordPress module. But this is just a specific how you connect different modules together, and Picsart has this flexibility to accept either URLs or binaries, but then only URL is being provided as a result. Therefore, sometimes we may need this HTTP component here, and then we upload back to product images. Again, connected only to the specifics of how Shopify is done. You cannot modify an existing image set, but you can upload a new one. So if you have this all set up properly, you will list all the images in the same order, upload in the same order, and then delete all the versions of those images, just to make sure you don't have any duplicates. I will focus on the main part here, the Picsart setup. Again, we choose the image URL option. We connect that to the source that comes from Shopify. We set the color, specified as white. Here in particular, this may be changed to any other color. We recognize color names if those are like well-known colors, as well as we accept hex codes. So both work. And you can choose your brand color or your store color, whichever you prefer. Here again, we recommend to use JPEG. It is here, but if you have other preferences, if WebP is your preferred format, you can choose that one. Because here we don't do transparency, I believe we won't find PNG option here, but it is not recommended anyways because of the big file size. Again, QR code here to get quickly access to the template that is already published on Make. And yeah, this is how you can use it. Every step is configurable, and you can also use different options on our end. Now, I want to show a couple of things that are not part of the main scenario or template I've created, but these are super cool things, and I want to show some videos. Please bear with me. These are cool things you can try on your own for your business. This one, no sound for now, but yeah, you can see
It's
here.
fine. It shows the example. It's great. It's great.
Yeah. So you define a simple prompt.
So this whole thing will be essentially done in the back.
Wow.
Yeah, impressive.
Yeah,
Super nice.
It's
thank
very
you.
impressive, and yeah, I mean, go ahead.
Can you handle a transparent product?
I think so. Yes, it should work.
Okay.
Like
I,
the opposite,
I
add a
haven't
background to
tried
a transparent
personally, but it
product.
should. Yeah, sorry,
What?
Tom.
Sorry.
I said, like, Shiran, you mean adding a background to a transparent image?
To a transparent product,
What do you
if
mean by
it's
transparent product?
a bottle.
Oh, like a bottle on with a transparent background. You mean add artificially generated?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If
I assume
it's
yes. If they
good.
can do it the other way around, then I bet they can do it that way around.
Yeah, I should give it a try. I haven't tried for glasses personally, but I think it should work. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is generative technology. It uses like remove background type of thing at first to recognize where the product is, and then we replace everything that stands outside. And with prompt, you can control everything. My favorite note for these types of cases is that when it comes, let's say, to marketing, we say content is the king. Here I say prompt is the king. Of course, it requires some skills, and that's why this new role, prompt engineer, has came into play, right? But if you do the right prompt with the help of LLMs, or as well as Picsart also has text to text type of transformation, you can say, I want to create something like this, write me a prompt in detail, etc., etc. And yeah, you may get a really good prompt that will be used or reused in different conditions. Then yeah, you can use this every day to create new backgrounds and reshare the same product maybe, but in a different way, in a different look, in a different setup. And your stories, your reels will always look fresh. Yeah, this is one of the coolest things I would recommend for e-commerce The other one, no video here, but this is more standard use case. I already mentioned that, like how you optimize or compress your images for WordPress, but same applies here. On Shopify store, there are surely different places for your product images to show up. And if you show the same image everywhere, it's gonna also be not so efficient. If you have a chance to upload different types of images in different resolutions, that will help a lot in terms of controlling your traffic. At the same time, if your image quality is not good enough, if you know that your shot was a little bit of blurry, maybe some artifacts are there, maybe the light conditions were not so good and there is noise, you can always apply either an upscale or image enhancement service that are available on Make as well. We have all those actions modules published. You can apply one of those and make the photo quality much better. First of all, resolution will be higher. Second of all, the image quality itself will be better. Again, noise cancellation will be applied, artifacts will be removed. Overall, photo quality will be there, but a much higher quality. More to check out. This is one other cool case. Let's say you want to move your image. Maybe let's say it's a square photo, but you want to publish as an Instagram post. Let's see how you can transform it. And the other one.
So it expands the image and kind of that's awesome.
Nice.
Can you identify a specific object in the image and then do that? Like identify the person in the image and do a headshot based on the image.
I think I didn't hear because of the
Yeah, Idan, you're a little either too
first
loud or
part.
close to the
Maybe you can
microphone.
repeat.
Yeah, sorry, I have some issues with my headset. Can I ask him to find the person in the image and then to do like a mugshot of the person so he can identify something inside of the image and then to do the cut?
What you can do is you can give a mask. If you know which part should be replaced, you can give a mask and say, please do something with it and give a prompt and it will rewrite. It will inpaint inside the image. This one is outpainting, the alternate version of it when you draw outside of the mask. In this particular case, you saw in the video that the parts that don't even exist, you can say drawing here, taking into account what was in the original image. Those things is, what you can do.
So basically, if I have, for example, if I have a product, can I say, please put the product in the center of the image?
Yes, placing the product in the center, here is how you can do that. First of all, you can apply the change background or a similar tool which will auto center, first of all. Then when doing the expand, you say expand from both sides rather than only to the left or only to the right. So you saw that like most probably in this particular video, it was done manually when you put the image in the right place and you expand in a specific area. But when you use the API, you should define saying, make this bigger this much, like giving specific width and height of the result image, and then saying in which direction to grow. So you basically either say, put my original image in the center and grow from every side. So if it is square photo and you want to do Instagram story, your product will still be in the center and the expand will be done from top and bottom, similar to this first video here, you see? So your product still stays in the center.
Okay.
Was the question, I think. Cool. And before summarizing, I want to show a couple of examples live. I hope you are seeing my make scenario. So a little bit different setup. We talked about how you use or connect to WordPress or Shopify. In this particular case, it's a little bit more simple. We will set up pre-flight type of pre-processing of images before you even upload to Shopify's of the world or WordPress's of the world. Here, what I do is I pick a Google Drive folder. I simply created a folder. You can choose from your drive or whatever was shared with you. This all is coming out of the box with this search for files and folders from Google Drive module. And then what I do, again, also coming from the fact how it works with Google Drive, in order to get the binary, I can't get really like the URL that can directly access the file, but you can download it. When you download, we use the file ID to connect to the previous module. And then the downloaded file.
Here, real quick, even though Aram is using Google Drive here, doesn't matter what you use, as long as you provide an image URL that's accessible publicly, or if you can't access it publicly and you have to use another module to download it, like here, then you get the raw data. But it doesn't matter. It can be Shopify, it can be Wix, it can be WordPress, it can be anything you can imagine.
Yes. And the only thing we need, as you mentioned, is either a data. And in this particular case, I've shown Google Drive's download file result is here, automatically mapped. It can be, again, any other source. Or alternatively, if the other site is providing a URL, you can use image URL and map to that URL. It will work either way. And then for background, you can use either a color or a background image, which can also be provided either with a URL or with an image. And the trick here is that you can use a color if you use standard like white background, for instance. That's the most common and widespread. But in certain cases, I've seen, let's say, Etsy shops where the backgrounds are always really like cool. If it's jewelry, for instance, it's almost never white background. It's usually some leaks, fashion type of backgrounds. And for those, you may either have a selected library of images, which can be listed and connected to this one. So you randomly pick one image from your library and use as a background here.
What about gradient? Is that possible to do?
Not generating here. So you cannot say like two colors are here, create a gradient. It's not possible via this module. But if you have a pre-created gradient, you can surely give that as an image here.
Okay.
So yeah, an alternative as always, like if you use text to image type of technology to generate images, you can always connect that to this module and always have a new type of background.
Yeah. Okay.
And
okay.
here, yeah, with Shopify case I showed, you can define any color, red, white, black. Names would work here, as well as hex codes like this. Shortcut like 3 numbers, as well as the 6-number hex codes. Auto centering automatically enabled, but you can say no. Maybe that's your photo to decide where the product should show up. Sometimes a little bit moving to the right, a little bit to the left makes a lot of difference, like how cool the product looks. Even in the library I've collected for this demo, there is Mocha, which is a little bit on the side and it's not fully visible. Sometimes it's working much better depending on the product type. Then for shadows, you can decide or like to disable, like if you want to, but here I just chosen to do the bottom type of shadow. This is automatically adding a specific size of shadow, not yet possible to customize, but yeah, as we hear more feedback from customers, who will adapt it to the real user needs and to the real user scenarios. And then again, JPEG, WebP, PNG, whatever you want, again, depending on your use case. This is how this one is built. The first flow is then the result. I download it again, and then I upload back to Google Drive. This is what you will see. The second path I have here, this route, is doing a little bit different work. I'm using a background image, basically, to always use this image. And then also I auto center, basically. This is what it does. And I also show an example of resize. For instance, if you want to do a square post on Instagram, you can always use this resize. Or if you want to do story, you resize to a different one. As I've shown, you can also use expand. It is available as an API that will be possible. It will be possible. So you generate an image like expanding that rather than cropping or resizing. So if your photo size is not big enough, just resizing won't work. If your photo is square and then you resize to the story size, story layout, some parts will stay either black or transparent, depending on the platform and how it's showing. But yeah, it is more preferable if you apply the expand technology in this particular case. And then again, downloading and uploading back to Google Drive. And now I want to run this and hopefully it works.
Show the
And
original first so people can see here. There we go.
yeah. So here are some of the images. I will try to enter the preview mode. So it can be product images. If it's pet accessories, it can look like this, or like this, or like this. So it will just, you see the example I mentioned, the mocha, it's on the left side and it looks really cool, versus if it would be in the center only and there is no perspective, there is no depth to the image. Some of this will be now processed. And I hope when I enter here, you see the images are now here. And you can see the results like this. See, so
Some have a background. Those with the different sizes, that's one for the story one, and these are the ones that have the backgrounds removed. Great.
yeah, this is how it works, as simple as that. It won't be super complicated at all. It will be rather very simple, very easy to use.
And you should the pink background, the pink backpack, the first one, the story. Just want to see the size. Oh, there we go. It's on the bottom right now. So this is the square, and I want to see the one for the story.
Let me see. I'm not sure I entirely did all right in my scenario.
It's okay. I get the idea, but it's great. It does gives great results. So I can imagine it can also create variations of an image.
If you use change background and then connect it to generated images as a background, like text to image, expand, etc., then you may get variations for sure. And yeah, if you want to do some other stuff, I can also suggest, for instance, there is a module to apply an effect that wasn't shown in the presentation, but you can apply one effect to every single photo in your library. This basically smoothens if different products look different, a little bit different. Maybe they were taken in different light conditions. The same green may look a little bit different if there is sun, if there is no sun, gloomy weather, etc. At home or in the office, etc. I mean, everything makes sense how colors look, but if you apply an effect, it smoothens, it brings everything to one palette, as if you open the Instagram store profile and every single photo is in the same color palette, regardless what is in the photo. So you can apply that as an after, like post-processing, after your remove background is done, after your change background is done, and then you get really smooth, nice product listing on your e-commerce website.
Great. Looks pretty good.
Yeah. And yeah, the only thing I can also add here to be very with auto-centric again, there was one case, I believe, that was starting from, oh, here, this one, I believe. So if you auto-center, look how it looks.
Mhm.
I mean, hand is cut, which shouldn't be the case, right? So either you you are just wary of this and you don't apply it at all, or you just don't use these types of photos in your e-commerce website. So
Yeah.
just be wary that things like this may automatically appear there, but this is more of uh, human error or
Yeah.
setup or standardization of the input rather than the service. But yeah, if you apply the expand, maybe it will just generate the person as a continuation of the hand rather than just showing,
Make
as
extremely
a
long hand.
amputated. uh, cool. Let me get back to this and maybe try to wrap up what Picsart brings to your business. Two, three important points: faster campaign launches, affordable content creation, and effortless integration. From our experience, again, editing that could be done maybe in 5 days will now be a matter of 5 seconds. That's as simple as it can be. And this is a super competitive advantage if you leverage this with no code. So you don't even hire a programmer to integrate this. You just simply click a couple of buttons, connect things together, like all those modules I've shown. And yeah, that's done. And everything looks really cool.
Let me ask the important question. What is your pricing? How does it work?
Yeah, it's
Obviously, I know it's kind of it varies because it depends what you do, but I'd like you to kind of give us kind of a little background about pricing.
yeah, thank you for the question. It's important. Surely you should be wary of your budget, but I can tell that this is one of the cheapest versions you will get, and it is not compromising the quality at all. This is just giving the um, this is a proper price for a technology and how it actually costs. So you shouldn't be just cautious that it is cheap and it's not the right quality. There are much more expensive ones. So in particular, here, change background can be done 5 credits, which at most, the most expensive for 5 credits you will pay is 5 cents, according to our pricing.
Yeah.
So a cent, a credit can be your reference. And then every service has a different price point. For resizing editing, I believe we are charging only 1 credit. For remove background, it's 5 credits. Gen AI technology can be more expensive, and upscale is also relatively more expensive. Like you may upscale up to 16 times, by the way. That's a big number for each side. Basically, it's more than 64 times upscale in general in terms of resolution. And for that one, you're only paying, let's say, 12 cents.
Yeah.
It's a credit-based system. You are purchasing credits. The more credits you purchase, you get volume discount. If you subscribe, even more discount. And then, yeah, you just spend fixed amount for our services.
There's a free plan. I just to help you out here. There's a free plan, and the
Thank you.
first paid plan is $10, so it's completely affordable, whether you're a small business or a big enterprise that requires tens of thousands of images to be manipulated. I think the pricing is the best I saw for any other competitor, without naming names. Cloudinary. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I really like this product. I gotta say, like when I saw it, I think it's the best one I saw so far for what it does. And yeah, it's complete. Even though the product says Picsart Enterprise, it shouldn't scare people off because we're not talking about like how much does it cost? Contact us button. It actually tells you how much it costs. There's no surprises here. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it has been a little bit hard to actually come up with the name. It was during past 3 years, it has changed several times just to understand what works better for our audience. Enterprise is about the quality of the service rather than how much it costs. It's affordable for individuals, it's affordable for developers, app makers, for businesses, small shop owners. And I think at some point you may even find that Make is more expensive than
Yeah,
Picsart is.
yeah, for sure. For sure. If anyone wants to know, it's Picsart.io. You can see everything there, and the pricing has a API pricing, so you can see exactly what we were talking about here. But I like the way you've written it down, so everything has it's credits cost, so you can see exactly how each manipulation, how much it will cost you. You can kind of plan ahead. It's done really well, I gotta say.
Yeah. And it's not even vague. It's not like it depends on the processing time, and with every image it's different. There is no preview size, etc. It's super simple. You can simply calculate how many images you publish every month, and then you multiply with the number of credits. It's gonna be super easy to predict how much you should spend here. Again, if you subscribe, it's even better because your credits will roll over with every month. Unused credits will be there for you to be used at a later point. So if there are months that you publish more, you won't pay more. You will just use the credits that you didn't use before. So
Nice.
that perspective, there is an advantage as well. Yeah, I've added here a couple of more QRs if you want to scan. One is pointing to Picsart Enterprise, Picsart.io. You can find the pricing there, what services we have, find a way to our documentation for APIs if we want to leverage the universal module, as I've shown for the describe service. Also, there is a link to our make page of our company profile there. You can find all the modules that we have published, also the templates that are also published there now, I believe 4, but I will add more use cases, live scenarios that will be helpful for all your businesses.
Great, great. Really impressive. Really impressive. All the competitors I know are like maybe 10 times at least more expensive than what you are. And I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of people in the group that are gonna try and gonna tag you with questions in the group. So be prepared for that.
Sure.
Yeah, it was awesome. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I think that was all. Yeah, I will be staying tuned for the comments and questions coming from the group, from the YouTube and other channels that you will be publishing this webinar. Yeah, I'm happy that yeah, thank you for this invitation and for this chance to present our product. And yeah, I'm happy that with this webinar as well, we were able to get one step forward with fulfilling our mission to make creativity available for everyone.
Make AI, generative AI images great again.
Yeah, I would say read our minds and not make me write the prompt. That's so hard.
Great. So thank you so much. I'm sure a lot
Thank
of
you.
contacting you, and I'm going to be a user as well. So have a great rest of the day, and thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, guys.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.